for me, growing up in this country, I've experienced more racism from non-white people.
Okay.
Asians.
Interesting.
Arabs. Pakistanis. I've received more racism from them, like overtly is what I'm talking about. Someone that would actually say to you, you're an X, you're a monkey, you're a this, blah, blah, blah. I've received more racism from those type of people, not white people.
I'm going to tell you a story, funny enough, but first I'm going to try to kind of frame my view of the world. And that is, I love everybody, and that sounds very strange. How can you love everybody? You know, I feel that
you're a kumbaya.
I think we're all.
I'm
a Christian, right? Whatever. You know what? You know when I don't know about that. I don't know. I am a Christian, but it's not. Is it fame? Is it built? Come from there? Maybe it has. I have no idea. But in terms of, I just feel that we're all, you know, capable of good things, and we're all capable of bad things. But I can see at the same time that there are certain groups that take advantage of that power that they have of trying to divide people. But I don't blame the whole groups. I know it's just a group, because bad things happened in my life. And if I decided to hate everyone who was part of that demographic, I'd be in trouble. And it means that I would end up being a big hater and probably a racist. But when I was younger, so just get this in your head. So you talk about, you know, some of the things he's experienced. Me and my brother were walking past. I was only about 13 years old, and my brother was 9 years old. We were walking. We lived in Southall. My mum's boyfriend lived in Southall. We were walking past his house, and we were walking with our dog. And as we just walked down the road, this house, the door flung open, right? And these South Asians came running out the house, loads of them. And we were like, oh, and we saw a woman in a dress, so we thought, oh, it must be like a wedding. I just thought people came flooding the house, and we were like, wow, we were really joyous for them. Like, really, wow, that's really amazing. It took one look at us, and all of a sudden, they freaked out. And I was like, what's going on? They started freaking, and they saw the guy, they changed their attitude. I was only a 13-year-old kid. I have to remind everybody. It wasn't long before these guys started calling me the C word, coon, the M word, everything you could imagine. They were calling us these names, and we were stunned by this. How could they be talked this way by
other people of colour?
By Pakistanis. They're speaking in Urdu.
Right.
And I understood some of the language, because all my brother's friends were from Pakistani backgrounds.
Right.
So I basically started saying to him, I repeat some of the words back to him. I've translated it, so I repeat back to him. And I goes, I said, "You just call me this name. What are you talking about? You call me this name?" And I was very shocked. And they got so upset, they went even more irate. Eventually, this whole family came out on the street towards me and my little brother, and decided that they were going to now start trying to attack us. And now I had this dog with me, and I was trying to keep him back. And my dog was getting obviously irate and trying to protect us, so we were kids. And these people were saying to us, bring your dog home and, you know, come back. I'm thinking, why would I bring my dog home and come back? Great stuff. So by the end of it, they followed us all the way home. I went to my mum's boyfriend, I told him what was going on, but this dog I literally let the dog go, and it grabbed the woman by a sari and pulled her sari. Right, okay. And they went mental, right? So got home and spoke to my mum's boyfriend, told my mum's boyfriend the situation. He came out and spoke to them and calmed the whole thing down. A week later, the dog was taken. They came and took the dog. So that's very, very strange coming from a community, and I then had to be very suspicious of some of the things coming out. So what you're saying kind of rings bells to me. I don't think that's we're the only people who have had these kind of experiences.
I think one of the things for me, I think a lot of black people need to be realistic. And if black people are realistic, I would say to them, would you prefer to live in the West as a black person, or would you prefer to live in the countries of these respective people that you claim are your friends? That's what I always ask them. Because in those respective countries that they claim that they're friends, you as a black person is less than you are here. Now, I'm not saying that the West has no racism, because we all know the West does, and there are racist people that exist everywhere. But in those respective countries, a black person is seen as less than a lot of the time.
And that's the thing. I was concerned when I did my research on it much later in life. It turned out that we were an omen, a bad omen. A black person outside, like a black cat.
Right.
So they came in the house, saw a black person, and we were a bad omen to them. Isn't that crazy?
No, not for me. As somebody who's researched I spent nearly 12 years researching African history, world history, Abrahamic religions, all this kind of stuff.
Slave trade, Islamic slave trade in Africa.
The whole thing. And so
no one talks about.
No one talks about no one talks about black people's first slave master. They never want to talk about
why we are Muslims
and why we're Muslims. No, everyone talks about. We know about the white Christian slave masters that came to Africa in the 1400s. We know the story of and I'm not downplaying it, but no one talks about 639 AD, the Rashidun Caliphate, coming into Africa, enslaving, raping women, castrating the men, all this, and still doing it to this day.
Why do they castrate the men, though?
Do you want me to, how deep do you want to
go? I think we need to be honest.
Okay, so my theory, which isn't my theory, by the way, is that I'll shout out Dr. Francis Cresswell Singh and Dr. Neely Fuller, two psychologists and psychiatrists, black psychologists from America. So when I say this, it's not my words, it's theirs. There has been a fear, subconsciously, of the black male phallus.
Okay.
Now, when you talk about castration, you have to be mature to have this conversation. Why is it that when these people, both the Arab and the European, came into contact with black men, did they focus on the male phallus? At some point in time, the Arabs castrated. During the south of America, when they were doing the lynchings, they always cut off the black male phallus. You as a black man, you probably grew up around the same time as I did. The focus, do you remember Linford Christie?
Oh yes, so he used to do his runs.
What were they always focusing on? His lunchbox.
It was hard to ignore.
It was
come on. He's like, it's hard to ignore that.
Yes, but there's been an obsession because I'll say this is my theory. The black male phallus.
Linford.
The black male phallus. If you go to the porn industry, which is a multi-billion-dollar industry, I've always said this, multi-billion-dollar industry. There's a subsection of it dedicated to the black male phallus. Dedicated to,
and that would obviously create a lot of hate. So there's a lot of, so we can see based on what you're saying, it's like you're saying that there's a reason why people do not like black men specifically.
Yes, and I'll expand it. Black men have the. Here's a theory now. Black men have the potential on the planet to genetically annihilate everyone. Okay. A black man doesn't need a gun because a black man's gun lies between his legs. Okay. What do I mean by that? If you put a white woman, Asian woman, Arab woman, Chinese woman, Pakistani woman, line them up, a black man could impregnate all of those women, and if you go back to their respective countries and their respective nations, once that baby's born, all of their cultures will say, that's a black baby. That's not ours, that's a black baby, right? And so potentially black men have the power to genetically annihilate all of these people. Now, this is not an argument for superiority.
I get what you're trying to say.
It's not. I'm not saying we're superior. There's a clear difference. Black men can. That's why when there were actual laws in America, actual laws.
Yeah, one drop.
Created,
one drop.
So black men could not marry white women. Why did Arabs castrate black men? So they couldn't impregnate the Arab women. Because they understood, whether consciously or subconsciously, that these men can be the downfall of their race. Which is why. So let me just let me expand. Which is why when a white supremacist goes on a rampage, people like Dylan Roof in America, people like Andres Breivik, Hitler. They have a manifesto. They've always got a manifesto. They've always written and in that manifesto, they always talk about genetics. They always talk about, these people can annihilate us. There's too many of them. They're going to genetically wipe us out. Blah, blah, blah. They're always talking about genetics. It's all about the preservation of people's genetics.
Okay, I hear that. But so why, if you're talking about Arabs, I think we're removing the Moorish influence from there, okay? So you're saying that they castrated those men. So how did black people become Moors? I'm confused by that whole
Because slavery's a thing, so
why did they allow for those people to become parts of the